Hello and welcome back to my channel, Jordan Mind, Body, and Soul, where we learn to take care of ourselves, mind, body, and soul. And if you're new to this channel, then this channel is just about different ways we learn to take care of ourselves so we can lead our best lives. If that sounds good to you, then go ahead and subscribe and let's get started with today's video. Okay, so today we're going to talk about, I forgot to say, anybody in the tribe who is a returning subscriber or returning viewer, welcome back and thank you. It would not be possible without you, so I really appreciate you. Okay, so now let's get to it. Okay, so this video is about healthy eating. Now, before I get into it, I'm just going to be completely transparent with you. As I get closer and closer to this master's degree in nutrition, I realized that I was already a master at nutrition. And this degree just makes everyone else feel like I should be speaking. But to be honest, I've always been a person who was concerned with their health and always aware of my physicality, as well as consuming good foods and making sure I was eating healthy. It's always been the case. As early as I can remember, I would even say being 12 and being concerned with things that were healthy. And I may not have always liked them, but I knew and understood the health benefits of food. Even when I was just working at Stretch Lab, I always had people who would ask for nutritional advice. And because I didn't have the degrees or the certifications that put me in a room to speak, I never felt confident enough. But I've always done my own research. I always would read and find different information about food and things that we eat and what to expect for your body and what you need for your body for just your basic nutritional needs. So I'm just going to be sharing some of my experience with you just from life, but also some things that I've learned along my journey in grad school. So the biggest thing that I always wanted to point out in terms of healthy eating and the relationship with food is you have to train your mind and your lifestyle to have a positive relationship with food. The biggest example that I can give is if anyone like me can recite every single word on any episode of 600 Pound Life, then it always starts with, of course, some type of traumatic event that happens for them. But most importantly, because we all have different traumatic events that happen for us, right? Most importantly, what they develop is a dependency, or a dependency or emotional eating, which makes them have an unhealthy relationship with food. The thing that shifted my mindset when it came to food is, I think it was in, I'm going to say 9th grade. We had a guest speaker come for health class, and it was called, they said, food is fuel. And me, being a very visual person, I think at the time I just listened and didn't think much of it. But at the time, I saw a car, right? And I saw a person putting fuel into their car. And I saw myself and me putting food into my body. And if I look at just any meal, or you look at anything that you want to eat, you say, okay, this plate is my fuel. This plate is going to power me. What am I using to power myself? And then I thought, I'm a Maserati. You can't just put, any old thing, and you're not just going to treat it any type of way, right? If it's a specialty car, it takes a certain amount of food to sustain it and a certain type of food to sustain it. So when you have that understanding and that relationship with food, you can also do this. So here's another thing that I did, right? I tell myself that, honestly, people say live or eat to live. No. I live to eat. Like, I'm literally like, where is my next meal coming from? I'm excited about it. I will try some Indian cuisine for breakfast, and then have a Mediterranean meal for lunch, and then have Italian food for dinner. Like, I'm looking for the next meal, and I'm like, I don't want to use the A word, but I'm like obsessed with looking for healthy foods, looking for healthy meals, understanding where the spices and things come from, so that I know what my body can expect and how my body is going to use it. Once you develop that type of relationship with food, you almost instantly feel like, that's okay. I don't want, that bag of chips that they say is a personal size. On the bag, it looks like it's a personal size at least. And then you read it, the calorie count or the label, the ingredients, will say 2 servings. And you're like, no person looks at this and sees 2 servings. They look at it and they think it's a personal bag. So once you understand that, like on a level of just understanding it, whether you believe it or not, once you understand it, it'll start to shape your relationship with food. So that's something that I always tell my clients, like, evaluate your relationship with food. And another thing is, depending on your culture and how you were raised or reared, your relationship with food can vary, right? If you're a person who grew up with not a lot of food in the house, so you guys were like food insecure, you have a different kind of relationship with food than someone who may have grown up in like a middle to high class lifestyle. And not only do they have an abundance of food, but they have the best selections. They're able to go to grocery stores and I'm not saying that just because something is organic, I'm not saying that it's necessarily better for you, but I'm saying that they have access to stores and grocers that have the better options. So those relationships are going to be different, completely different. When it comes to culture, the spices that you interact with are going to be completely different, right? So once you have an establishment of what is my relationship with food like in general, like what is it like, that's when you can start going into figuring out how can I make better or healthier choices for myself or my family, so that we can eat together as a unit, and be healthy as a unit, because that support system is very, very, very important when it comes to healthy eating, because we use eating as really the staple of our society. Like, if you are graduating, what do? Afterwards, you go out to eat, or you have a cookout at your house. Like, it all comes back to the family unit or your village or your tribe. So once you establish your relationship with food, your tribe, your village, your family, whatever you want to call it, is next to figure out how do we work it out in this environment. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about portion control, right? So when it comes to portion control, you want to make sure that you're eating enough without feeling deprived. And the best example that I can give with that would be 10 chips, like 10 potato chips versus 10 strawberries. Their nutritional value varies enormously. And your satiety, how you feel after them, varies enormously. So I'll talk about it a little bit later, because treats are okay occasionally. What you're eating matters, right? So 2 servings of, again, chips versus 2 servings of strawberries is very different. So when you're looking at certain foods, right, I always tell my bonus baby, if he's going in there and he's getting another bag of chips, and then he's getting another bag of chips, and he's getting another bag of chips, with kids, you let them eat and enjoy junk food sometimes, but I tell him, you're hungry. And with the chips, there's no nutritional value. They're good, they're tasty, they're fun. They might be a little snack to hold you over, but you're hungry. So you're going to keep coming back for more chips, because it's never going to be enough. You're going to keep coming back for more Oreos, as much as I love Oreos, if you're hungry, because it's never going to be enough. Those are treats. Those are just things to have after you eat and you've already given your body the nutrients, because if not, you're going to keep returning to them. You're gonna literally smash your snack cabinet and still be hungry. You have to have the nutritional value involved. Controlling the portions of what you eat is going to make the biggest difference. Another thing is too is you can eat a lot of healthy foods like above the recommended serving and feel full, right? Or you can eat the recommended serving and not feel full and have something else to kind of like hold you over. So when it comes to eating healthy, that's the thing that I always tell people, like it's about controlling the portions of what you're eating. And chances are if you're eating bigger portions of healthy foods and nutritional foods or foods high in nutritional value, you're not going to want much of the snacky, sugary, trans fatty foods because you're already feeling full. I love this topic, y'all. I feel like I'm definitely like in my zone when it comes to this. So I apologize if I am like kind of like about it, but I'm like excited. I'm really excited. So next, treats are good occasionally. And I say that because now for me, for an example, I'll just give personal examples. When I have, let's say for an example, I have breakfast, right? And I have, let's say, some toast, turkey bacon, and strawberries and blueberries. And usually if I do that, I like to have arugula and goat cheese, right? For me, that whole little salad that I just created with the strawberries, the blueberries, the goat cheese, and the arugula, it feeds my need for sweets. So sometimes when I have it, I can't have it with y'all know I love iced coffee. I can't have it with the iced coffee because I feel like I've already had so much sweets, right? That I'm good on it. So again, it kind of ties into the last one, but the more you give yourself nutritional foods that may be sweet, if you're looking for like that sweetness, then you're not really gonna want it so much in junk food. And the junk food is okay, right? This ties back into the portion control. It's okay, but you have to be careful because a lot of times, like even the individual bags or the individual bags they have of Oreos, most people grab them and they'll eat the whole little pack. But if you read it, it says that it's supposed to be 2 servings. So your nutritional value for it is broken into 2 servings. So people read it and they're like, oh, okay, this isn't that many calories. I can eat this. And it's like, no. That's 2 servings that you're eating. You're eating it in one setting, but that's 2 servings. So just be mindful of that. Okay, and lastly, to kind of wrap it up and bring it back together, this video is really just like a general overview, just to give people kind of like a basis to see if they have any questions or any more information they want me to answer for them. You could drop that in the comments and I got you. But I just wanted to kind of give an overview because a lot of people always ask me, like, how do you stay on track? How do you keep eating, healthy foods? And do you do this and do you do that? And it's like, I'll just make a video, and if you guys have questions, I'll go into more detail. But the last thing that I put on here is supplementation. So to be completely honest, I am a person who is team supplement, right? And by supplements, I'm talking about like, how I have the sea moss. That's technically like it's a food, but it's listed under the supplements. I take iron supplements because I have low iron. Vitamin C supplements to make sure I have more vitamin C. I'll say it like this. The best source, of course, to get any type of nutritional value or to get any type of nutrients in general, whatever it is, would be through the food source. So through foods that have iron, that are high in iron, or eating an excess of them so that you can get more iron. Vitamin C. Consume foods with vitamin C. That's cool and that's good in an ideal world. And that's what I always say, because I had a teacher or a professor that last semester who's really big on that. She's big on get it from the source. And I agree with that. I do agree that you should, if you think you're low in iron, you should figure out what foods are high in iron or contain iron so that you can consume them. But in our world, the way that it is today, a lot of our food is lacking the nutrients that it should have, even if it's something that's advertised to be healthy. And a lot of our foods are like we don't make the time. We don't make the time to sit down and eat like good portions. I'll be honest, like all day my lunch serving is a little small. My dinner serving is like my biggest portion, and it probably has like the most nutrients on the plate. Besides that, I'm trying my best to eat snacks and get other foods in. So in that case, supplements help, because if they are what they say that they are and what they're promised to be, it gives you that extra boost. It gives you that extra dose of whatever it is you need. Now, the only thing I will say about supplements that I think I mentioned in the CMOS video, it's kind of tricky because we have to believe them to be what they are, right? They're not FDA regulated. So you're kind of taking it at face value. And a lot of times people don't check, well, not people, but the FDA doesn't check or regulate supplements until there is a problem, until it can be traced back to an issue, and then they're like, let's pull it, let's see what this is, let's see what's wrong. So be really careful, try to do as much research as you can. It would be best for you to figure out if you do have a deficiency, or if you do have some type of a desire to get more of a certain vitamin. It may be best for you to get it directly from the food source. It depends on how much it is you're lacking, and it's hard for us to know that too, right? So a lot of physicians and our primary caregivers give us advice on that, and they'll say, oh, just take this, oh, just take that, and you're kind of just taking it at face value. So keep that in mind. Another thing I wanted to add on to that is, remember that supplements and medicines and all these things, they're meant to duplicate things that are already in our body, as well as medicines duplicating things that are or mimicking things that are already in nature. So if you can get it directly from a source, like some people would be like, instead of when they have a headache, taking Tylenol is a medicine that is derived from I can't remember the name of the plant. If you remember the name of it, it has properties that mimic it. I can't think of the name of it right now, but if you can think of it, drop it for me in the comments. It mimics it. So like all of our medicines, if you look at the source of it, they mimic different things that came from nature, different herbs, flowers, plants, all that. So if you can have access to the natural source, that would be best. But I honestly take supplements. They help. They help me. I can literally say that they've helped me thus far. So yeah. So that was just a little bit of my overview on healthy eating, and like just a little bit of information for people to consider. It's really not hard. You want to enjoy it. I almost say that in every video. Like, the point of all of this is to enjoy it. Some people have such a negative just outlook when it comes to healthy eating or to healthy food that it even stops them from realizing that some of the foods they consume now would have healthy alternatives that they would enjoy. Right? So it's not about making it a miserable experience. It's not about being super disciplined and I don't ever eat any cookies or anything. That's not what it's about. It's about enjoying your journey and finding ways to make it work for you. Okay? So if you have any questions, go ahead and drop it in the comments for me, guys. And don't forget, take care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.